Okay. Okay, Eclipse, and then we'll do a new project here. Okay, and then we'll do File, New, Project, CSE114, and then Week 12, Lab 1. Okay, and we're going to do the example which we did in the beginning of today's class. Okay, just to emphasize again, really important. So first of all, let's create a new class. So let's say new class. What about account first? Huh?
I think it's 13.
Oh, 13 already. Really? Wow. Time flies, sad to know. I wish that's even sooner. Okay, very good. So 13. Okay, let's rename that. And by the way, if you want to rename your project, this is how you do. You should go to refactor here and then say rename. Week 13, lab 1. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, go to source and then let's create an account class first. So you go to account. Okay, and then another class. Let's create all the classes first. Account, also clients, and also bank. Okay, bank class here. Okay, so we have bank, we have client, and we have account. This is actually a simplified version of the bank account example we did before, but exactly the same as what we said in the beginning of today's class. Okay, so if you go to the account class, let's add several attributes here, 2 attributes actually. So let's say make a simple integer ID, and then we have double balance. Yes. Let's have one constructor here, account, and then we're going to initialize just the ID. So we're not going to bother with the static variable. So just make it simple. So let's say integer ID here. So this dot ID equals ID, and also balance. You don't have to, but you can say balance equals to 0. Okay, but it will be default to 0 anyway. Okay, let's not redefine the equals method here. Okay, let's not do it. We'll do it in moments. Let's go to the client class. Now for clients, we have, let's say, string name, and also an array of accounts here. And we also have the counter here, integer, the number of accounts. And let's have the constructor here. And the constructor is going to initialize the name of the clients. So string name. So this dot name assigned to name. And also accounts equals new, let's say up to 5. New account of size 5. Okay, so far very straightforward. So we got account, we got clients, and let's now go do the bank. And now for the bank, we have, let's say string, the name of the branch. And we also have clients, and then an array of clients, integer number of clients, and also let's have the constructor here. And for the constructor here, we can say this dot, oh, we want to initialize the branch. So let's say string branch, this dot branch assigned to branch, and then clients is equal to new clients array, doesn't matter, let's say 100, doesn't matter. And of course I gotta fix the typo here. Okay, so far so good. Oh, yeah, typo is really my weak point. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yay. Yeah. Okay, there we go. All right, you can see the powerfulness of the Eclipse. Checks all your typos. Very good. Okay, so I think there will be some mutators method to add. Okay, for example, we might have a method called add clients, that's something we also need. Clients objects C, let's say, I'm sure you know how to do it. So you would say clients array at position number of clients is assigned to C, and then increment the counter, right? Number of clients plus plus. Okay, we do the same. You can copy this code here. Let's also go to the account class. Sorry, the bank class. That's what I meant. So we are not in banks. Now let's go to clients. If you go to client class, you're gonna have a method called add account. So account, let's say A here. So here you're gonna say accounts, number of accounts is assigned to A, and number of accounts will be incremented by 1. Okay, just another mutated method, so that'll be very useful later. And one more thing, we just need to go to the account class. We want one more mutated method here. So you can say void set balance double balance this dot balance assigned to balance. Okay, once you have done this, so we got enough to do the test. And yes?
Do we not need to initialize the number of accounts and number of clients?
We don't have to because by default it will be 0 anyway. Yeah, you can do that if you want to, but it's not necessary. Yes. Yeah. Because remember the array indices start with 0. That's why we don't have to. Yes. Okay, so good. So let's create just another class for the tester. Okay. So under the same package here, let's say new class. So let's say bank tester. And then make sure we have a main method there. Okay. So now let's do the following. So first of all, let's simply create account ACC1 is equal to new account. Let's give an ID 34, for example. Okay, and then let's set the balance of ACC1. Let's set balance to be 1500, for example. Okay, and we're going to create another account, a different objects, account ACC2. However, we're going to give exactly the same ID. Okay, and now we do ACC2, set balance, also 1500. So you can see ACC1 and ACC2. They are different objects, but they got exactly the same ID and balance. Okay, so now, if you do the following, if you do system.out.println, and if you do ACC1 equals ACC2, what's going to be the result? It's going to be false, because it's going to call the version of the equals method from the object class, which is going to compare the references, right? Let's double check with this. If you put a breakpoint over here, you go run debug as Java application. If you do that, and now we're paused over here, if you step into it, you will see that we are really now in the object class, and now we are calling the version of equals that's inside the object class, which will only compare this and objects. In this case, this is actually ACC1, and also objects is actually OBJ is actually ACC2. So we are really comparing the addresses of the two. Okay, that's why it will be false. Okay, so if you run that, it's going to be false. Very good. Okay, let's go on. So that's for accounts. Let's now do some clients. So let's say clients here, C1 equals new clients. So let's say Jim Davis. And also let's do another clients. Clients C2 equals new, just another client with the same name. Jim Davis, the same name. And now we're going to say C1, we're going to add C1 dot add account ACC1. Okay, C2 dot at account ACC2. You can see C1 and C2, they are different clients. And also they actually contain different accounts, ACC1 and ACC2. However, somehow ACC1 and ACC2, they got the same ID and also they got the same balance. Okay, just something to note. Now, let me just improve the previous print statement a little bit. So here you can say print line ACC1 dot equals ACC2. Okay, that's what you can say. Okay, let's do a similar print statement here. If you do the following, you say C1 dot equals C2. Gonna be false. Again, because we haven't redefined the equals method in the client class. Again, it's going to call the version that's inherited from object class, and you should really know how to do it. Again, put a breakpoint here, and then you say run debug as Java application. And now we'll see that we have C1 dot equals C2. If you step into it, it's actually going to, don't worry about the string builder. So let's step over it. So now step into it again. You'll see that again, it's the equals method in the object class, which is going to compare the references using equal. Okay. So if you go ahead and do it, it's going to print false. Okay. So far we actually have seen that ACC1 dot equals ACC2 will give us false. C1 dot equals C2 will also give us false. Okay, so far because they're simply comparing references. Okay, so now let's go on. Let's now do the bank. So now you can say bank B1 equals new bank. So here, what about just IBK Songdo? Okay, let's just got another bank here, B1, B2, new bank with exactly the same branch name. So here, let's also say IBK Songdo. Okay, the same. Okay. So now let's do the following. So let's say B1 dot add clients. So let's say C1. And let's add our different client objects. B2 dot add C2. Okay. So now let's do another print statement here. If you now do B1 dot equals B2. Okay, if you say B1 dot equals B2, apparently it's going to give you false because again it's going to call the version of the equals inherited from object class because you haven't redefined that yet. Okay, I'm going to leave that to you to verify that. Okay, but now if you run out your code, you're going to have 3 false. Okay, however, we want to extend the 3 classes in such a way that we'll get 3 true because the 2 accounts are indeed equal because they got the same ID, they got the same balance. And the 2 clients are also equal because they contain exactly the same accounts and also their names are the same. And the 2 banks are also the same because their branch names are the same and also the clients they have are also equal. So that's something we'll like to define gradually. So let's start with the account class. Let's do from the bottom level as I said in the class today. Okay.
Can I copy back tester? I didn't get to
Sure.
copy everything.
Of course. You want me to show? Want me to show that to you? Which part?
There.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Let's make it quick.
Any part you still want to see before I move on? Okay, go ahead. When you're done, let me know. Okay, so we're gonna redefine the equals method first in the account, and then in the clients, and then in the bank. After that, we're going to do the toString method as well. Done?
No. Can you move down a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Almost done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they actually typed too fast. Didn't seem to. Done?
Yeah, I think I can do the rest.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's now first go to the account class. Let's do one by one. Let's now go to the account class. The reason that we're doing the account class first is because somehow the bank depends on clients and client depends on the account. And account does not depend on anything. That's why we start with the account. Okay. So now let's go to the account class. Let me just switch back to Java and go to account. Okay, so now the way to redefine the equals method, yeah, or you can just use Eclipse. You can say equals and it's going to generate the code for you. Yeah. Okay, by default, it's simply going to call the super.equals, which is from the object class. You don't want that, right? So now in this case, you have different ways to do it. So let's say, for example, you can say Boolean. So two accounts are considered as equal if their IDs and balances are the same. So you can say IDs are equal. So this will be determined by this dot ID equals. So here you got to change that. You can say account other, okay, other dot ID, okay, and then also you got another Boolean here. Let's say balances are equal. You can say this dot balance equals other dot balance. This here over here is not really necessary, but I'm just writing them so that might be clearer to you. So now you can return IDs are equal, and because both of them must be equal, and balances are equal. Okay, so let me see why. That's the equals method here. I need to get rid of override. Okay. Somehow you don't need to override tag over there, so just delete that. Yeah.
That's like editor if you have it.
Okay, that's how you do the equals method here. So in the account class, that's version 1. So that's a slightly longer version. So you can do another way. So let me just comment this out. Let me show you another way. Another way to do it, you can simply say return ID equals other dot ID, and
How do you comment like?
oh, I'll show you. I'll show you in a moment.
Is there a shortcut?
Yeah, there's a shortcut. I'll show you in a moment. Balance equals other dot balance. Okay, that will also do. Okay, if you want to let's say, let me show you. If you want to comment out the whole block, so highlight the whole block, and say command / command /. That's how you do it. And then if you want to uncomment that, so you can select the block again and say comment / and it's going to put it back. Okay, could be useful. Okay, so we got two versions of the equals method. Okay, so now if you go back to the bank tester, remember we actually got 3 print statements before. We got ACC1 dot equals ACC2. We also got C1 dot equals C2. We also have B1 dot equals B2. Have we changed any of the results?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
the first.
Yes.
Yeah, we have, right? Yeah, the first one, since we redefined the equals in account. So if you try that, you're going to see that. So now ACC1 dot equals ACC2 is now true. But C1 dot equals C2, B1 dot equals B2, they still false. Okay, so more work to do. Okay, so now let's go to the client class and see what we can do with that. Okay, let's go to the client class. And now we're going to have, again, I just type it out, public Boolean equals client other. Okay, So now let me just do the way I did in the class today. So you can see, so two clients are considered as equal if their names are equal and also their list of accounts are equal, in the corresponding positions in the array. So let's handle the first part first. So you would say Boolean, let's say names are equal. This is defined to be this dot name, and because it's a string, dot equals, and then other dot name. Okay, this part's easy. Okay, and we're going to use a Boolean variable and update it using a loop. So we have Boolean. So here we got, let's say accounts are equal. Initially, that's simply just true because we haven't found any counterexample yet. Eventually, we're going to return a conjunction of the two. So you would say return names are equal and also accounts are equal. That's what we want to do eventually. But now we have to make sure we update accounts are equal properly. Okay. So now here we're going to run a loop. Integer I equals 0, I less than the number of accounts, and then I plus plus. Okay, very standard way of doing things. So now we're going to say we'll set this Boolean variable to be false as soon as we find out any account they are not equal, right? So we're going to say if we find that it is not the case that this dot accounts at position I dot equals, so somehow we are trying to call the equals method we just redefined, equals other dot accounts I. And remember, it's very important to put a not here. If it is not the case, then we'll set accounts are equal to be false. Okay, this is one way to solve it. Okay. And I'll show you another way. Another way to solve this is you can simply just do if statement. You can say if name dot equals other dot name. Okay, if this is the case, but then we go further. Otherwise, if they are not equal, then we return false. Okay, that's another way to do it, right? Okay, and then you say if their names are equal, then we're going to compare their accounts. So now you can say further that if the number of accounts is equal to other dot number of accounts, then that means the accounts are at least the same. Otherwise, if they contain different number of accounts, then there's no way they can be equal. If otherwise, we're going to return false. Okay, return false here. Okay, so now this is a place to run a loop. So you can say, so now we define a Boolean variable here as before. So Boolean accounts are equal here initially just true. And we say for integer I equals 0, I less than the number of accounts, I plus plus. Okay. So now you're gonna say similar actually. So if it is not the case that this dot accounts I dot equals other dot accounts exactly as before. Accounts I, if it is not the case, then we'll set the Boolean variable to be false. Okay, outside the loop, we're going to return the accounts are equal. Yeah, this seems to be a little bit wordy, but actually, to me, this is actually clearer. It's up to you, really, whichever version you like. Okay, let's keep this version now. Okay, if you go back to the bank tester class, so now have we changed just the answer of one of the print statements? We have just changed the answer for C1 dot equals C2, right? Because we just redefined the equals method in the client class. So now if you do the run the tester again, of course. Which part? This part? Or towards the end?
No, I did write down everything as an error.
Yeah, I have error also.
Oh, really? Oh, do you want to start from the beginning? I mean, just for the equals method, right? Did you declare the class? Did you declare
Public boolean equals client other.
equals? Did you say equals?
Yeah.
Okay, and then did you first compare if name dot equals other than name?
Yes.
Okay, and then if number accounts equals other than number of, okay, good. And you also got a loop here. Okay, return.
Oh.
Maybe that's a part you forgot. Yeah, you got to make sure all the branches returned. Otherwise, Eclipse will complain.
Okay, I'm
Good? Are we good?
Not really.
Which part?
I have this error. Yeah, I think I covered exactly the same.
That may be something I can solve for you later. Okay, so now if you go back to the bank tester here, so now if you run it, you will see that now C1 dot equals C2 is also true. But B1 dot equals B2 remains false, simply because we haven't redefined the equals method in bank. Okay, that's something we're gonna do last. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit lazy here. So just go to the go back to the client class here, and then I'm going to copy this equals method here, because the structure is going to be very similar. Okay, if you go back to your package explorer here and go to bank, no, not bank tester, bank. If you go to bank, and now we're going to paste the method there. So I'm going to delete the first version. Okay, just use the second version. Okay, I just got to fix things here. So rather than name, I'm going to say branch. Other dot branch, and now other should be bank rather than clients. Okay, just got to make sure to be careful. So number of accounts should be number of clients. Okay, so accounts are equal should be clients are equal. So I would like to rename this. So I can simply click on that and then right click and say refactor. And then say rename. Accounts are equal, I can say clients are equal. Okay, so number of accounts should be number of clients. Accounts here should be clients and other dot clients. Okay, that's it. So you can see the structure is almost identical. Just that you have to change the variable names a little bit. Okay, I'll pause here a little bit. Just make sure you got this part for equals method. So you should really compare and contrast the equals method in both clients and bank to see how similar they are. Okay. And the next step will be to see how the dynamic binding comes in when you execute the code. Also a very important point to note. Are we good for all the classes? Good. We can follow the video, so it's not recorded. Okay, so now let's go back to our bank tester here and run it. So now you do have all the three equals return true. Okay, that's what you have. So now I would like to verify that dynamic binding is really in place. So if you click, put a breakpoint over here, right before b1 dot equals b2, and then you do run debug as Java application. And now question for you. If I now say step into this, which version of the equals method am I going to go into?
The one in bank,
The one in bank, right? Because
you really find the equals method.
and also the dynamic type for B1 would be the bank,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
My tester came out as false.
Sure. Oh. Oh, really? That's interesting. So ACC1, so ACC1, you got 34, 1500. Count. Oh. That's interesting. Okay, tester. ACC1 dot equals ACC2. If I say run debug as okay, and then if I step into it, string builder, let's not worry about it. Let's just go out, step into it again. We do have that. Why is that false? Ah. ACC1 dot equals. Okay, let's try this. ID equals. That was true. Balance equals other balance.
Oh, there, fix that.
We have other here. Balance. Somehow other balance is 0. My guess is you did not set the two objects properly. That's my guess. So ACC1, ACC2. There's a typo here. All right. Now you got the things you like. Okay, so advice for you: don't make typos in your projects. Okay, so now let's continue. So now we know that when you execute this line here, b1 dot equals b2, it is going to call the version of the equals method from the bank class because of dynamic binding. Because now b1 has the dynamic type bank. Okay, so let's now verify that. If you step into it, okay, let's not worry about string builder, just go and then step into it again. So now you will see that we do enter the equals method in the bank class. Let's go on. So let's step over. So now when we run the loop, so now when we say this dot clients I dot equals, which version of the equals method is it going to call?
Client.
Why?
Because it really finds again the client class.
Yeah.
We are calling it.
And also this dot clients I has the dynamic type clients, right? Because we are storing client objects. Okay, that's something you should really know. And then if we step into it, so you will see that now we are in the equals method in the client class. Okay, so now you can see we'll switch the context very often because of dynamic binding. Okay, now in the equals method for the clients, let's now go to the first iteration here. So now we yet have another equals method here. So now which version are we going to call then? The account class, because we redefined the equals method there as well, and also now the dynamic type for this one is account. That's why we'll go into that version. Okay, step into it, and you see indeed we are now in the version of the equals method in the account class. You can see we got 3 different places where we call the equals method. Each one of them is going to call a different version of the equals method because of dynamic binding. Okay, that's something you should really know clearly. Okay. Okay, so that's about the equals method. Any questions? Hopefully this equals method now should be very straightforward to you. We actually did very detailed explanation in the class in the beginning today, and also now we do it in Eclipse. Hopefully that helps you. So now, one exercise for you. We're going to do this toString method in a very similar way, okay? Of course, toString method returns a string rather than Boolean, but it's going to be constructed in a similar way. What I would like to do is the following. Let me show you. Go to Java, go to bank tester here. Let's print out another thing here. Let's say system.out.println. So you can say bank B1. Actually, you know what? Let's just say B1. Just say B1 only. Just B1. Okay, so now, what's going to be the output from this print line here? The address, something like the address, right? So because we haven't redefined the toString method yet, so exactly this. What I would like to have is the following, okay? Something like this. I would like to have bank branch Songdo, I think it's IBK Songdo. Let me just use equal here, okay? And then comma, and also we have clients here, and now we have so the first client, well, we just have one client actually. So Jin Davis with account. Okay, he also has a list of accounts. In this case, he actually has got the account with account where ID equals, for example, in that case, it's 34. Okay, balance equals to 68. Okay, this is something I would like to have when you print B1. How do you redefine the toString methods in the right classes such that you will have this output? Okay, for the rest of the lab session today, complete that. Okay, and I will get I'll get involved maybe in the last 5 minutes. I'll let you struggle with that. Very important to know this.